Hi everyone, Christina Regine here. Today we are making a simple and moist vanilla cake, and we are also making vanilla buttercream American style. I'll show you how I make my cake so nice and moist, and it's unlike any other vanilla cake you've had. Plus, I also want you guys to make sure that you please subscribe to my channel as well as like and comment on this video for more recipes like this one. And don't forget to check out my website, ChristinaRegineCooks.com, where I post all of my recipes. Without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start by sifting our dry ingredients. Here I am sifting 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Always make sure that you sift all of your dry ingredients first because that's how you ensure that your cake comes out soft and fluffy. If you don't sift beforehand, you could get clumps while you're mixing, or it just will not come out as nice and fluffy and soft as you would like it. So always make sure that you sift all of these ingredients well. Now let's sift in 2 cups of sugar. And we're going to sift in a tablespoon of baking powder, as well as half a teaspoon of salt. With a stand mixer using the paddle attachment, let's go ahead and mix all of our dry ingredients together. Just use a low speed to do this, and just do it until everything is combined. So now we're going to add 3 sticks of unsalted butter to our dry ingredients while it is mixing. Now, some people might think that 3 sticks of butter is a lot, but honestly, this is the best way you can get your cake to be super nice and moist, as well as add some extra flavor to it. So just add each cube of butter little by little while your dry ingredients are mixing. And you want it to come out to be the texture of like wet sand, sort of. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but that's really the texture that we're looking for when we're mixing butter into our dry ingredients. So once everything is combined, you can see how the texture looks right now. So it doesn't look exactly like how flour normally looks. So it does look like there's a little bit of moisture to it. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's just slightly clumpy, and I guess kind of like the texture of wet sand like I was describing earlier. So now let's move on to our wet ingredients. So to a separate measuring cup or bowl, add 1 cup of buttermilk, add half a cup of vegetable oil, which, by the way, should be a requirement in every cake recipe. Add 3 large eggs, and add 2 tablespoons of pure vanilla extract. Pure vanilla extract, please, okay? And yes, I said 2 tablespoons, okay? Okay, so let's mix everything together until it's all well combined. You want to make sure that you like all your eggs and everything is like homogeneous so that when we add it to the dry ingredients, it's all blends in evenly. So just little by little, I'm doing about like in 2 or 3 parts. Just add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients while the mixer is running. So you can see that the batter is quite thick for now, but we're just going to keep adding the rest of our liquid ingredients. And we're done. So here is our cake batter. And now we're gonna go ahead and add it to our cake pans. Something that you should do for every single cake that you bake, use parchment paper. It's a total game changer and it's really easy to do. All you have to do is just spray your cake pan with some cooking spray, and then you line the bottom of it with parchment paper. And I can tell you that it is the best thing that was ever invented in the world of baking, because your cake will come out of the pan so easily and so beautifully. Like, you don't even have to mess with the fuss of trying to get your cake out of the pan once it's done baking. Always distribute your cake batter evenly between each pan that you're using. And depending on the size of the pans you are using, the bake time might differ. So, bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. If you are using an 8 or 9-inch round cake pan, then you would need to bake for about 30 to 40 minutes. Or if you are using a 10-inch or 12-inch cake pan, then bake for 40 or 50 minutes. And this is, of course, assuming that you're using a 2-inch deep cake pan. It might be different if you are using a slightly taller cake pan like a 3-inch, in which case you might need to bake for a little longer. And by the way, do you see what I told you guys about the parchment paper? It's perfect. So now that we are done baking our cake, let's go and make our buttercream frosting. Now we are going to add 4 sticks of unsalted butter to our mixer. Make sure that your butter is softened, but not too soft to the point where it's melting. And we're just going to mix this on about like high speed for 5 to 7 minutes. And this is because we want it to get nice and fluffy and kind of increase in volume as it's mixing. Now we are going to add our powdered sugar to it little by little. I would prefer to use just 4 cups of powdered sugar, maybe 5. Honestly, I do prefer a less sweet icing because I'll be honest, this is the American style buttercream. And American buttercream is very, very sweet. If in fact, it usually calls for like 7.5 cups, which is like 2 pounds of powdered sugar. And that's just like way too much for me and probably a lot for other people too. But if you're into it, then by all means go ahead and add as much powdered sugar as you like. But I prefer to cut down. But then it's also a matter of consistency, because you want the texture to be like thick enough and to hold well so that when you're frosting your cake, it's not like all over the place. And you can see already how, thick it's getting. But anyway, when you're done adding your powdered sugar, if your frosting is a little too thick, then you should add a couple tablespoons of heavy cream to it to thin it out just slightly. And add some vanilla extract, of course, because it's vanilla buttercream. Every dessert you make should require vanilla, actually. So continue mixing, and once it's done, we can go ahead and frost our cake. Ooh, the frosting looks pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and frost our cake. And I'm gonna do like a really messy job of it, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not a professional baker or cake decorator, so as long as it tastes good, then that's all I care about. Just smooth out everything evenly. Add the next cake layer and continue frosting. And here is our cake. And I put like flowers and leaves on top of it so it could look pretty because I'm not a professional decorator again, and I don't really know how to make frosting look pretty. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope that you like my cake recipe. For more recipes like this one, please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, check out my website, ChristinaRegineCooks.com, where I post all of my recipes online. Once again, thank you guys so much. Until next time.